only matter of time.
That's it.
It only matter of time.
You're kind of on injured reserve there, so be careful. Might need to wear safety gloves, just in case.
Oh, no. Kind of fits me.
Well, we can have them, on your wall.
I sent a picture of my wife, and she's like, that's about right.
She will not be surprised.
She will not.
Always getting big bonus. Here's more than a try.
That's right. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Welcome to City Council. We're going to have our City Council meeting here on Tuesday, July 28th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd all rise for the invocation by Vice Mayor Dan Henderson.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we're so grateful. We're thankful for everything. We're thankful for the breath in our lungs. We ask that you give us wisdom, courage, and open minds to make decisions on behalf of the residences and the businesses of the city. We ask it in Jesus' name. Heavenly Father, we're so
If you remain standing for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Are there any changes to the meeting's agenda?
No, sir, there are not.
Okay. The minutes for our July 14th meeting have been provided to council in your packet. If there are no questions or comments, I'll ask for a motion on those minutes.
Councilman Bradley, I say we approve the minutes of last
We
meeting.
have a motion from Councilman Bradley. Is there a second?
Councilman Quillen, I'll second.
Second from Councilman Quillen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Those pass unanimously. Do we have anybody here this evening for public comment?
We have Kendra with DMAC for public comment.
Okay. If she'd like to come forward, please.
Good evening.
Thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time. My name is Kendra Friel. I'm the Training and Events Coordinator with the Delaware Municipal Electric Corporation, and I'm coming to personally invite you to our annual dinner this year. This year, the dinner will be held on Wednesday, September 9th, starting at 4:30 till 8 p.m. at Bally's in Dover. This is a great opportunity for you to connect with fellow leaders throughout the DMAC member communities. You'll also hear important updates about the status of our regional electric grid. This year, our keynote speaker will be Awesome Hawk. He is actually the PGM Senior Vice President, and he's going to discuss the growing impact of data centers on the state of Delaware. In addition, we have tracked 44 energy-related bills this year, and we are going to continue to advocate on the part of our member communities at the state, regional, and federal levels for anything that's going to affect your reliability or your electric costs. At this dinner, we're also going to be recognizing your staff and your communities for what the good work you've done throughout the year during our annual awards presentation. So I've actually brought a couple of printed invitations if anybody still needs one. I've included my business card on each should you need any assistance with registering or have any further questions. And then, yes, so may I? Okay.
Please.
I've already responded, I'm coming, so you can save it. There you go.
I've responded, but I'll take one as a reminder.
Thank you.
I'll be there also. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I have one, I'm going.
I'm going to, but I'll have it.
Thank you so much.
And,
Two tables.
and with that, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody else for public comment?
No one else for public comment.
Do we have anybody for correspondence?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. We're going to move on to new business number 1 and ask
the president of the Downtown Seaford Association, Alice Atkins, to come forward to give us an update on how the 250th year celebration went. And Lauren's coming with her, so.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Mayor and council.
Good evening.
We have a slideshow to present with just a little recap of our 250th celebration of America last weekend on July 18th.
So on July 18th, we started off in the morning, it's 10 to 1. We had plenty of people going in the water. We had floaters. We had 275 floaters get in the river. So that was amazing. It was a little bit of hard with the wind and everything. It was pushing them back. So thank you to all the fire departments that went out there and helped tug them back in. They were a big help for some people that were kind of stuck out there. So we appreciate them. We did have 42 vendors. We had 8 food trucks. And with the float-in sponsors, we just like to recognize Buy Right Auto Sales, United Rental, Delmar Service Tire Truck Center, Seaford, Hastings Marine Construction. He went out there with his boat and his dock and he told me that he handed out 75 bottles of water to the floaters that were coming by, which was a great opportunity because it was very hot on the river. And a great shout out to Fisher of Men Foundation. They really helped out with getting people out of the water and exiting and helping them out of the water as well. We'd also like to thank all the fire department for that as well. And C&J Craft and Capture, he did this wonderful picture and some aerial view with the drone, and it's really good. You know, he got some footage downtown, so that's really good that we could put on the website. So that was really good. Next, please. You can talk about this.
So next was our tug of war competition that we had with Seaford Bleeds, Bridgeville, and Laurel Fire Department. They had, was it 6? I think it was 6 from each department who they competed. This was Seaford's. Bridgeville was the overall winner. There's Bleeds. They're very proud. And I think we started something there because they were all trying to do rematches afterwards. And they were talking about next year already, maybe trying to do something again when we have another event. So we just want to say thank you to all of them for coming together for the community and just being a part of it and just kind of having some friendly competition.
Yeah, and thank you to Ray, because Ray Atkins is the one that came up with the idea to do this tug of war, old-fashioned tug of war. So that was really good. Even the cornhole people got involved.
Yeah.
Afterwards. So it was very, very well planned, and I think that everybody loved it. So we're going to be doing it next year for bragging rights, who gets a trophy. So I'm not sure if we're going to pass the trophy along. I don't know if it's got a date on it, or we're going to get a new trophy from my VP.
Those are just more pictures. There's Laurel.
And a big thank you to Nanticoke Heritage Byway. I did talk to Dan Parsons, and he said they were doing the tours all day. So there was a lot of people interested interested with that, and they thought it was really nice to learn some history of our area. And I went to their booth to go say hi to them, and I got with Chief, and we got a picture with him too. So that was really nice, and I think that was a great thing to add to this 250th celebration, because I know that Stephanie had said, we're going to do something, not just have a festival and have something that means something.
Right.
So that meant something and brought the history. Unfortunately, we couldn't do the river walk, which we were asked to do to try to utilize the river walk.
Parade.
So the boat parade was canceled. Mike Hines was canceled. So, hopefully maybe in the future we could do something with another boat parade. That would be nice to use that river walk. Thinking maybe Christmas, I'm not sure. We'll see. But that's something I'd have to ask. So a big shout out to Zeke that was working on that. He organized it at the Nanticoke River Yacht Club. Let me see. Also, special thanks to Alan Quillen for helping us with setup in the morning. We really appreciated that. And we also had Matt Lloyd come and help us out with the DSA table, helping us sell some 50/50s and raffle tickets. So it was really good. It was really good. Cornhole tournament, Andrew Parlier, he put that together. He's a member of the VFW, and he puts on cornhole tournaments all the time, so he put this one on for us this year to do that. A lot of people didn't come because of the heat or whatever.
But it was
you
still
know.
a really good turnout.
Oh, absolutely. So they had a great time. They want to do it again. So he wants to do another one for the Fall Harvest Festival as well.
So we have our first, second, and third place winners as shown on the screen. Even though the air quality was, not the greatest and the weather was absolutely terrible, our community still came out and really celebrated together, and we're just so appreciative of all the volunteers, everybody who had a hand into it. It would take us all night to, thank every single person, but we just also appreciate you guys for, having faith in us for doing it, and hopefully, we made you proud and made the city proud with that event. Is that the end of the slides?
I think, do we have any more in there? Any more?
Okay.
Okay. But I wanted to also make mention to, thanks to Hooper's Landing for the golf carts.
They were a huge help at the
Yes, not so much running around, so that was really helpful. So thank you, Mike, for that. Seaford Blue Jays football players came out and helped us out setting up. So we had a lot of help all the way around. We didn't get to get everybody into the dunking booth because of the quality of the water in the dunking booth, so I didn't want them to. Matt was going to go in.
I was
He
gonna
said,
go anyway,
I've been in
but,
worse.
He's gonna be a trooper for us, but
I said, no, I don't want you to get in that
Yeah.
water, but I appreciate your offer,
I
though.
was going to do it.
but overall it went really well.
Yes.
So.
And let me see, there was
And
a
the
couple more
museums.
things.
The museum was
museums
open
were
as
open. Seaford Volunteer Fire Department had the Seaford Museum open for the fire department, and the Seaford Museum for having their museum open as well. To bring it all together, what Downtown Seaford Association is about is bringing businesses together. So it was really nice to have the businesses participate
On High Street.
on High Street as well. We had the businesses involved were CNC Country Kitchen. They had set up outside selling food. The Atomic, they were set up outside as well. Martha's was giving out little samples, and as soon as they tasted it, they ran in there and got some ice cream. We had small town treasures on Pennsylvania Avenue who came down to be recognized downtown, to try and sell some things downtown as well. And Birmingham was a big one as well, because they had a band there, it was called Mojo Duo. So they had that from 2 to 4. And they were going to actually sell the alcohol for the concert. It was all set up, it was all nice, but it didn't work, so we had to get it all back to Birmingham,
They were good
so-
troopers about it.
Yeah,
too,
they're good
so.
troopers about it. So they had to cancel another event at their other facility as well, the other location. The gallery, they didn't have their outside gallery, but they were open too.
Yes.
So it was nice to see the businesses come together, because that's what we're all about, bringing people together, getting people from the community to come down and recognize what we have downtown. So that's the big part of it. So we appreciate everything. And I think that's all I have.
Do you guys have any questions for us?
I'll just say this, you faced scorching heat that day. It was hot as it could be.
Very hot.
You faced
Sweating all day.
the wind when people weren't trying to be on the water. You faced torrential downpours later in the day, and it was still a pretty awesome time.
Yes.
So I know that some people are disappointed with the concert and things of that nature, but overall, kudos to you guys for pulling off what you did. You had some things go against you. You did a really good job. And for people like myself who believe the city of Seaford is better when we have festivals like this, these things like this, and the fall festival made me overjoyed to be a part of City of Seaford. You guys do that for us, so I'm really appreciative.
Thank you.
I'll kick it over to Councilman Quinn.
Well, you pretty much echoed what I was going to say, so
Stole your words, huh?
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And as fire department liaison, I'm going to have them in a weight training program.
Yep.
So they last longer than 10 seconds in the tug of war, just saying.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
It was 7 seconds. It was bad. It was 7
Yeah.
seconds.
They were embarrassed.
Went down
It's
like puppy
okay.
dogs.
They were.
Before you head out, because of your efforts, I asked for us to document a proclamation to Alice Atkins is the president of DSA. So I can read that to you real quick, and then you can carry on your way.
That is so awesome. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am. This is a tribute to Alice Atkins, president of the Downtown Seaford Association, outstanding service to the city of Seaford. The mayor and council of the city of Seaford recognize and celebrate individuals whose dedication, leadership, and volunteer service enrich the quality of life within our community. Alice Atkins, president of the Downtown Seaford Association, has demonstrated exemplary leadership and unwavering commitment to the betterment of the city of Seaford. Through her tireless efforts to promote downtown revitalization, community engagement, and civic pride, she has preserved the history, heritage, and spirit of Seaford while fostering partnerships that strengthen and unite our community. Alice has devoted countless hours in the planning, organization, and success of the city's celebration of the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. On July 18, 2026, she brought to life the Stars and Stripes on Nanticoke River celebration, bringing together residents, visitors, businesses, and community organizations in a spirit of patriotism and unity. Through her dedication, enthusiasm, and steadfast commitment to our community, Alice created a memorable event that will have everlasting impact on the city of Seaford and serves as an inspiration to all who seek to make a difference through volunteerism and civic engagement. So with that, I, Matthew McCoy, Mayor of the City of Seaford, by virtue of the authority vested in me, and joined by the City Council and all our citizens, do hereby wish to express our sincere appreciation and gratitude to Alice Atkins, President of the Downtown Seaford Association, for her outstanding leadership and invaluable contributions to the Stars and Stripes on the Nanticoke River celebration and the commemoration, I can't say that word, of the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Very careful. Don't let me cry. I'm gonna get a picture of one of them. That's why I get the camera.
Stand over by the mayor.
Mom, make sure you look at it.
And it takes a whole village. Thank you to everybody, Downtown Seaford Association. We know you all work very hard on this. Thank you so much.
Just with everybody.
Absolutely. It's a great idea. 100%. Do that now?
Do it right now.
Let's do it right now.
Gotta get my team in there. Can't do it without that.
Want me to take it?
It can't go rare.
This is where we missed.
Oh, you want me to take it? I got you. There we go.
Thank you.
All right. At this time, I'm going to move on to new business number 2. And
Ms. Merritt?
Ms. Merritt, thank you.
Good evening.
Good
Good evening.
All right, in your packets, you will find a redlined version. We're coming to request a revision to the employee handbook, section 2-78, weekend holidays. What, I'll just talk a little bit about it, but what precipitated this was normal day workers work 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. And then you have shift workers, and they are police and the call center employees. And so for many, many years, the practice has been holidays. If it fell on a weekend, Saturday, the city would give the employees the Friday for the holiday. If it fell on Sunday, we were given Monday as the holiday. But then in many, many years ago, when we did the first collective bargaining agreement with the police officers, they have a section in their collective bargaining agreement that allows them, instead of getting a Friday holiday if it falls on Saturday or a Monday holiday, they actually get holiday pay, which means they also get overtime pay if they have to work on that Saturday or Sunday if that holiday happens to fall that way. So anyway, just to kind of tee all of that up. But what has occurred, we had a request from a call center employee because they also work shifts. And it doesn't happen too often with the holidays. Most of the holidays that we receive, a lot of them fall on Monday. But Christmas and the July 4th and now Juneteenth, I think, is another one that may possibly, as the day happens, it could fall on a weekend. So what has occurred is that you have a call center employee that may possibly, they would get paid holiday pay if they work on that Friday. July 4th fell on Saturday, so July 3rd was the holiday for us. If they worked July 3rd, they got the holiday pay, plus they got holiday overtime pay. But then they also maybe had to work Friday or Saturday. So Saturday, they just got regular pay because they received it on Friday. Whereas police officers, when they actually worked the Saturday, they got their overtime on that Saturday. The reason it's a conflict is because, again, they're having the call center employee, they don't get to spend the time with their family if that holiday fell on the weekend and they're having to work, but they're not getting the overtime on that specific day. So anyway, so we're requesting to just make a change in that to apply the Saturday and Sunday holiday pay for call center employees also, which it doesn't say call center, it says shift workers, and that way it covers anybody that works a shift. So that is call center employees and police officers. So the language would just, we're asking to change that. It used to say, when any holiday falls on a Saturday, preceding business day shall be considered the legal holiday. When any holiday falls on a Sunday, the following business day shall be considered the legal holiday. So we're asking to strike that and to actually make the language read as for day workers, and that's your 7 to 4, Monday through Friday. Day workers, when a holiday falls on a Saturday, the preceding business day shall be considered the holiday. And whenever the holiday falls on Sunday, the following business day shall be considered the holiday. An exception exists for shift workers whose work cycle requires them to work Saturday or Sunday. Shift workers or relief workers shall receive holiday pay for the day of the actual holiday, irrespective of whether the holiday falls on a Saturday or Sunday. So that's the language we're requesting to change. That mirrors the same language that's in the collective bargaining agreement for the police officers at this point in time. It doesn't change anything as far as overtime pay. They're still going to get overtime pay. It all affects the actual day of when they actually work.
Okay. Any questions or comments from council?
I'd say it's pretty much a no-brainer.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Merritt.
All right, thank you.
If there are no questions or comments at this time, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the amendment to the employee handbook sections 2-78 that would revise the holiday hours for shift workers as presented.
Okay, we have a motion from Vice Mayor Dan Henderson. Is there a second?
Councilwoman Grassett, I second that.
We have a second from Councilwoman Grassett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? It passes unanimously. And now on to new business number 3.
Okay, council has in their packet an intergovernmental agreement for use of property assessment data, and that is an agreement with Sussex County, Delaware. Council and staff, specifically the assessment department, has had conversations over the past several years that once Sussex County updated their assessments, we would consider going to the Sussex County assessment. So we did reach out over the last few weeks to Sussex County, and to get the data for us to utilize, they have produced this intergovernmental agreement that outlines how we will use the data, what we can do with it, so on and so forth. It's a relatively long agreement, but it does talk about how the data will be provided, some permitted uses and restrictions. They're not going to warranty this data for accuracy, so it's our responsibility when we take it, how we use it, and what we do with it. Building permit data, we're going to have to give our building permits to the county. We already actually do that monthly, but it gives some dates on when we have to do that if we expect it to be in the supplemental billings that come through. I will point out Section 10 in fees, the county shall provide the assessment data to the municipalities without charge, which is very much appreciated. And there are some indemnifications and things like that. For us to get this data and start this process of evaluating it and utilizing it, we would need to receive authority from council to execute it. We'd get it back to Sussex County, and then we would start the process with them of exchanging data and looking at this data and moving this project forward for the eventuality of, at some point in the future, 28, 29, 30, 2030, we would shift to potentially using the county assessment for our tax assessment. Council would have to approve that. There's 2 other things that would have to occur. We would need an ordinance that would be adopted, and it's kind of outlined there in the beginning. It has to be in accordance with state law. The other thing that we would have to do is update our charter. So that'll come. Charter changes, as council is aware, takes a little bit of time. So staff will work on that over the next 12 to 18 months. We'll present that to council for approval, and we'll keep council abreast of our progression over the next couple years. But this would be step 1 in that process.
Councilman Bradley.
City Manager
Yes, sir.
Charles, could you elaborate in terms of what the savings is going to be for the city with this prospective move?
Yes, sir, Councilman. We can give you some kind of historical data. When we did this assessment in 2019, our city assessment, the price the consultant charged us was around $130,000. And every year, the Director of Finance looked back for us. Every year with the updates to the database, the supplemental assessments that we do quarterly for new houses that are built or changes, we spend anywhere between $25,000 and $45,000. So over the life of the assessment, we're spending, around $500,000 with our vendor to try to keep our numbers accurate, do all the things that we need to do.
Yeah, well, you know how I am about money.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I see that as going towards our budget deficit and,
Yeah, this is, again, for them providing this service at no cost is a great value, and we're very appreciative of Sussex County working with us on this.
I also think it'll make it less confusing eventually for the city residents, because they don't have to worry about Seaford's value of their home plus the county's value of their home. There is one value of their home for which their taxes are based, and one appeal process for that. And I just think that'll make it a more streamlined process as well, more understandable.
It's a good point.
Yep. Vice Mayor.
Speaking of appeals, Mr. City Manager, we had a discussion that we will still need to hear appeals. It's not
You are correct.
going to be about valuation, it's going to be about classification or
Process the
zoning
city
or-
uses.
or nuts and bolts. So, you know, we're still going to have, it's not going to do away with an appeals night.
Correct. It'll shift it slightly. The items that can be appealed to the city will be reduced, but there still will be appeals that council may have to sit as the Board of Appeals and address. But yeah, as far as valuation goes, we would just receive the data and then use it for our taxation billing purposes.
And they would, if there was a discrepancy, they would appeal to the county.
In valuation, yes, sir. That is correct.
Any additional questions or comments from council? All right, if there are none, at this time, I'll set the motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement for use of property assessment data with Sussex County, Delaware, as presented.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Dan Henderson. Is there a second?
Councilman Bradley, I second the motion.
Second from Councilman Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. And now on to new business number 4.
All right, the Director of Public Works and the Superintendent of Parks asked that I present this information. So the city did receive 4 bids in response to our bid advertisement for the Nutter Park basketball court resurfacing. There are some pictures there on the screen. And just to be clear, it's the larger court in Nutter Park there, highlighted in red. The smaller court that's kind of 90 degrees to it at the bottom of the frame there. We're not doing at this point. It is the larger one. And the pictures don't really do it justice. It is in bad shape. I think the last time it was worked on paving was well over 40 years ago, and it gets a lot of play. But we did receive 4 bids, and Jerry's Incorporated was the low bidder at $35,833. We've worked with Jerry's Paving several times in the past, many times in the past. They did go out and visit the site. I'll add, this improvement project is not coming out of our budget. These are from a grant through the Delaware Opioid Settlement Commission. Chief Crafts here, he was instrumental in putting the Nutter Park Prevention Hub project together. This is one piece of it where improvements are made to the park along with other things that are done. But I gotta, kind of give some credit to the chief. This was really his brainstorm. He got the money for us, and we're going to get a concrete improvement for the community out of that. But certainly, I can try to answer any questions council might have.
I have one. If council approves of a vendor tonight, when would they begin work?
I can't really say. The Director of Public Works will reach out. We'll get the purchase orders. We got exchange insurances. But typically, Jerry's, I think our contract duration, if I remember correctly, it was a 30-day contract. So when we give them the notice to proceed, they'll have 30 days to complete it. So the only other kind of complication here is other aspects of the Nutter Park Prevention Hub project are starting up.
Yeah.
So we don't want to interfere with any
That's
of
what-
those events. There's a backpack giveaway coming up.
That's what I was thinking.
So we're going to have to work with the contractor to kind of bring him in an open window that we don't run afoul of any of those other issues. But I would say within the next 30 to 45 days, you should see this.
Would we have any idea of how many days it would take to complete?
It's not that big of a job. We're going to have to remove the old basketball goals
Yeah.
and new ones go in. But just based on some of the prior experience working with this contractor, he comes in and does it.
A day or two?
Within a week,
Yeah.
he'd be done, yeah.
Okay.
Now, who's responsible for the court painting?
They will do that.
The lines and everything, Jerry's does that?
Any, Vice Mayor?
Speaking of striping, the last treatment that court had, it was just a ceiling.
Seal coat.
And it was, the striping was abysmal. It was terrible. And I just want to make assurances that this is going to be, a top-notch striping job. Because it was,
Yeah.
it would look like it was manually done, you know.
Your memory's correct. It was shoddy.
Yeah, it was
So our
not
staff
good.
did that, so we did bring in, you remember correctly, Councilman, we did bring in a vendor to seal coat, and then our staff did the best to reline it. And the only painting device they had was what they lined the fields with.
Yeah.
And it was not the
Yeah.
appropriate
Wasn't
tool.
designed for that.
They did the
Yeah.
best they could,
Yeah.
so, but you're correct.
Yeah.
This will be a more professional job.
Any additional questions or comments from council? If there are none at this time, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion to award the bid for Noda Park basketball court resurfacing to Jerry's Paving in the amount of $35,833 as presented.
All right, we have a motion from Councilman Alan Quillen. Is there a second?
I
Count-
second.
Oh, go ahead.
A second from Vice Mayor Dan Henderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? It passes unanimously. On to new business number 5. And I believe, speaking of Chief Kraft, there he is, hiding in the bag.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, city
Good
manager.
evening, Chief.
Good evening.
Thank you for taking the time to see me tonight. In your onboard packets, you should have a copy of a memo that I sent to you for requesting to utilize FY27 vehicle budget funds to purchase 2 used vehicles. And the reason we're here is because in our original budget, we were budgeting to purchase new cars. We had to eliminate 1 patrol car and 1 admin car or CID car to try to balance our budget when we were going through the process. So we're trying to be somewhat creative. DNC Auto Sales had actually reached out to send a packet to Seaford and to the city and the police department. And our criminal lieutenant, who helps out with the vehicles, went out and checked out the vehicles, and they seem to be in really good shape. One is a 2022 police vehicle, Ford Interceptor Explorer packet, black in color. It's got some lighting on it. It was already a police vehicle. It's got 42,000 miles, and it's priced now, because they reduced the price down to $16,500. And a 2019 Dodge Journey, it's also black. It was used at a college police department. And that price on that car is $8,500 with 46,000 miles. We probably wouldn't be considering these cars if it was for patrol, because where they're hot seated, ran 24/7, they wouldn't hold up probably, concerns of idle miles, hours and things. But the purpose of these cars is to place them within our criminal investigative department. They have a need to have a patrol vehicle where they can transport prisoners after search warrants and different operations from SWAT teams that we do. And we have a need to take a patrol car that they have and put it back into the fleet. So this is an opportunity for us to stay within our budget. We're not asking for an increase in our budget. We're going to try to be creative and maybe move some funds around and look at some different options. We ended up with a credit at one other location that we can apply for one of our upfits on another car. So we're hoping we should be able to stay within our $225,000 vehicle budget while still adding these used cars to the fleet is the hope. And we'll manage that. Worst case scenario, we do have one vehicle that we have currently that we budgeted to upfit for $25,000. And if we need to, we would just eliminate that from this. But the goal is to be able to still purchase everything within our budget. So if that makes sense, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions or comments from council? All right, Chief. If there are no questions or comments at this time, I'll accept the motion.
Councilwoman Grassett, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of 2 used vehicles from DNC Auto Sales to be used as administration vehicles for the police department as presented.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Grassett. Is there a second?
Councilman Bradley, I second the motion.
We have a second from Councilman Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. Now on to old business number 1.
Okay, at the last council meeting, council was requested to provide a temporary easement on the property that the city owns on 106 Spring Street, and the adjacent property owner to the south it would like to install a retaining wall on that property due to the steep grade. Mr. David Perlmutter and Mr. Keith Fisher are here today. Council did ask that they tabled it and asked for a little bit more information about the process, what was going to happen. So with that kind of tee up, I'll ask maybe those two gentlemen to come up and assist with the presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Evening.
Good evening.
I'm sorry?
Good evening.
Yeah, sorry. The question started already. I'm Keith Fisher of Fisher Architecture, and without introduction, you know the gentleman standing behind me. He told me that I was allowed to come speak tonight. We'll see how long that lasts, for all the reasons you know. I appreciate the time to talk about this in greater detail. I apologize for the last council meeting not having all the dots identified and detailed. But as you know, the project moves quickly, and we're under a lot of pressure with a lot of extenuating circumstances with things that happen. So with that said, we present to you tonight a few alterations to the last conversation. One of them, and most importantly, being the portion of the retaining wall has been redesigned so as to not consume and to be onto private property. We've moved that retaining wall back through feats of engineering with our team, so that that portion of the retaining wall will be constructed all on the focus property. So we've avoided that. I believe there was also some conversation about the process in which we were going to install this and the power disruption. That's been addressed by our civil engineer. I believe, Charles, I think they sent you that point-by-point process that in a perfect world, it goes off without a hitch, but we all know in the world of construction, there are things we do not know. So with that being said, hopefully that provides enough background and detail of how we need to proceed. The game here has always been to create a path in which we provide ample parking for the project. So we tried everything we can to create this retaining wall as efficiently as possible and not lose any of the parking that we suggested months before that when we came here. I believe we successfully have done that, and in the hopes that you will agree and successfully allow us to move forward. So I told you.
In and out.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So hopefully tonight, we can move forward with this because we are under a time crunch. As you're aware, we received some ARPA funds that have to be expended by November. Final invoice has to be in November, so we're really under the gun. When we did come in here and get our preliminary plan approved, it was based on all this parking that we're still showing. So if we're not able to get this retaining wall in, I honestly don't even know if the project will get going because it's an expensive part of the project. Unfortunately, we were successful with the ARPA funds that we didn't use all the money on the cleanup, so there's some additional funds that DENREX allowed us to build this wall. That being said, we want to get the wall in. There's a storm drain that has to be relocated as part of this process. Currently, Brightfield is our contractor engineer, and it's currently out to bid right now as Brock and Keith's plans have been designed. We're hoping for a quick turnaround on some bids so we can get started, as soon as possible. That being said, then we can move forward with phase one of the project. But if the wall doesn't come in, we're going to lose all that parking, and the whole plan's you're not going to see what we proposed several months ago when we were here last time. So this is
and I stated this all the years we've been working on this project, that there's going to be a gigantic retaining wall going across that whole site because of the property we own up at High Street all the way down to the river. It's just, the grades are tremendous on that little bit of property. So if there's any questions or...
Councilman Quinlan.
Yes. I don't think there's any objection of getting this wall up there. I think we're on board with that. The problem that we're seeing is the interruption of stormwater drainage and some electrical issues that are going on there at that time too as well. So I don't know if you can walk us through how all that's going to fall into place and to see, because you do have additional funds left over from the brownfield and things like that. So is that going to cover everything or not? We don't know that at this point. So that's going to be a question too that we have here too.
Exactly. So I might be back here in a few weeks and give you an update.
Okay.
But that's still, we got to get at least the retaining wall in. We might be able, in talking to Charles, we might be able to get a portion of the storm drain relocated, not all of it put in immediately till the buildings go up. So there's some juggling, or I can build 90% of the retaining wall and use the difference, to get that little bit of storm drain. So we got to wait till the final numbers are in. And like I said, we just finished the plans. They're out to bid right now, and hopefully, we get those back fairly quickly.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and so to that end, we all watch the news every day, and this is what happens, right? But indications are that the great thing about what we're able to do in this process is we're not creating these drawings in a vacuum. We have instant market data with Brightfields and the contractor kind of guiding us. Hey, use that nut, use that bolt, kind of a thing. So we believe we're in line with expectations to address the budget. And then our engineer also, again, in that same vein, worked with the contractor on as an architect, my plans are perfect, right? But at the same time, we have to involve the people that actually do it. And in that case, they produce, and I think we provided, there's a step-by-step process so as to avoid the level of disruption. With regard to the electric, there's a process in place that we've worked with the town and the people in that particular element to talk through, how to connect this wire and that wire, all while not losing a major disruption to those that property serves. Same with the stormwater pipe that's there now. Clearly, undoubtedly, the day we decide to do this, we will get a 100-year rainstorm, right? And deal with it, right? Of course, right? And so that's all been factored in on the what ifs. There's a lot of things that we can do in this moment where it's raw land and a lot of the obstructions are out of our way, again, that we know. And so they can dig, they can put that pipe in, and it's sort of at the very last minute make that connection. I'm doing a huge disservice to the 25 steps that my team has put together, but essentially we weren't prepared to talk about that at the last discussion, right. And now they've dug real deep into every sequence, and they've factored in as much as they can the built-in variable that is the world of construction.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Bradley.
I don't have any complaints. The only comment I want to make is one of concern that it got pushed out this long, because as I remember, when we had a meeting in the past, I was more concerned about the conflict of the construction being involved when they were doing the work on the bridge, because it was going to be scheduled earlier this year. And now we're in the third, almost fourth quarter. That's my only, I mean, we're under the gun now, when I was pretty much led to believe that it would be close to being finished by now.
Vice Mayor.
Let me just say how appreciative I am that you went back and brought more detail to the plan. I did read the construction plan and the comments from the site visits between Mr. Brook and Mr. Mears and Mr. Anderson, and your engineer. So I feel much more comfortable as a person who's been in construction all my life. Even when I was a child, I was building and tearing stuff up. So I am, much more at ease than I was 2 weeks ago about the sequence of construction and about how we were going to protect the people served. There's more than one property served by that transformer, so we just want to make sure that they're accommodated and disrupted in the least way possible, and afford you folks the chance to develop the property like you want. It's a dream that's 11 years in the making. So, so I'm really happy that you did what you did.
And I appreciate that very much so. And again, like I said, wish we would have done this 2 weeks ago. So we are where we are, right? And the timing effort when Mr. Perlmutter commissioned us, so to speak, to get this rolling, and having a relationship with Mr. Perlmutter for the better part of 17 years now, I know when he gives me a schedule, it means I better beat that schedule. And so in putting the schedule together with him, we always factor in the problems. We know they're going to happen. And to address that, we actually believe we're a little bit ahead of schedule because we anticipated challenges along the way. So I think we're up against it. Football games have been won in the fourth quarter, and so I think we're ready to go.
Well, it wasn't a complaint, it was just an observation.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And every morning of my life, I come down to this traffic light, so I've seen step by step the whole process for the past 25 years. So.
Mr. Perlmutter shares your sentiment.
Any additional questions or comments from council? Okay, if there are none at this time, I'll set the motion.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Quillen, I'll make the motion to approve the request for a temporary easement on 106 Spring Street to install a retaining wall on the adjacent property to the south former power plant site as presented.
We have a motion from Councilman Quillen. Is there a second?
A second.
Second from Vice Mayor Henderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now on to old business number 2.
All right. This is the second reading of a proposed ordinance change to the municipal code, the standard specifications. And the two things that are being accomplished here, we would remove the 8% net energy metering cap that was previously in our regulations. So we didn't have to provide any more net meters in the city than 8% of our annual peak. That's now gone. We still will review each installation, whether they be solar arrays, windmills, or anything of that nature, and we'll review them for safety and reliability issues. So if it's going to cause a safety or reliability problem, we'll work with that person to eliminate that, or we will not approve it. And then we will also, this code change also adopts the model interconnection procedures, net energy meeting interconnection standards that are provided by the Interstate Renewable Energy Council. We didn't have that in the previous version, but that's required by a new state law. So we're responding to the legislature's adoption of a new law this last legislative session in doing those two things. This is the second reading. Our Director of Electric, Greg Brook, is here. So between he and I, if council has any additional questions on this proposed code change, we can certainly try to answer them.
Do we have any questions or comments from council?
Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Has the legislature demanded that we accept these changes? There's abbreviations for these companies. or for these organizations, when they make running changes, we have to accept them?
In this case, we did have to accept them. And are you referring to like the IEEE standard?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So that's a standard. That was in our code before. That's the International Electrical Engineering. That's really the standard by which we review these systems and we make sure they're compliant with the rules. The UL obviously is underwriter laboratory, so they make sure everything is safe. The new one that was added was this Interstate Renewable Energy Council.
That's the one that concerns me, because they could, by fiat, make changes, and, you know, are we powerless to have any comment or any influence on those changes?
Yeah, the genesis of this is now when they make an update, everybody in the state is required to be compliant with it. So we can't let our code lapse. We have to meet the most recent version. You are correct. When a change is made, we will have to respond to that. I assume, I don't know this to be fact, but all the other codes, plumbing codes, building codes, you can participate in the code change process.
Public
early on.
hearings.
Yeah, yep, you're very familiar with the process. I assume this would be the same way. So that would be our recourse in this, is that we participate in that code change process and we have an effect before it gets adopted by this model interconnection council, renewable energy council, sorry. But yeah, once they publish the new version, we have to move to it by state law.
Yeah, I just am, I want to be careful. I don't want to wander out into the political wading pool, but it seems like these measures that are stated to be to save consumers money and to help them save money end up being more onerous to the companies that are providing it, causing them to raise their rates, and it doesn't come out in the wash. Everybody, you know, the rates continue to rise because it's more and more difficult to administer.
100%. 100%.
We were in church, I'd say amen.
Yep, 100%. It's a new world order.
Yeah, I can see the frustration on your face.
It's the reality of it. Okay. Any additional questions or comments from council? Bite my tongue too. All right, if there are no additional comments or questions at this time, I'll set the motion.
Okay, Councilman Bradley, I'd like to make a motion to approve the amendments to section 9.17.4, 9.22.4, and 9.22.5 of the municipal standard specifications that would eliminate the 8% net energy metering cap and update the applicable design standards referenced in the code as presented.
We have a motion from Councilman Bradley. Is there a second?
Councilman Henderson, I second.
We have a second from Vice Mayor Dan Henderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. I'm going to move on to the reminder of meetings.
Just have two this time. Makeup Movie Night in the Park featuring Pixar's ELO. I think it's Ilio is how you say it. Ilio, sorry. July 31st at 8:30 p.m. in the grass lot here behind City Hall. And then Friday Night Live, August 7th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. also in the grass lot behind City Hall. That is all I have, sir.
Thank you, City Manager. Going to move over to our liaison reports. We're going to begin with Police and Fire with Councilwoman Stephanie Grassett.
Good evening, everyone. I have a complete report from our police department. Unfortunately, I am once again without a report from our fire department. As far as the police liaison report, during this reporting period, the Seaford Police Department has handled 217 calls for service. They have made 42 criminal arrests, including 38 adult arrests and 4 juvenile arrests. Officers have maintained an overall 82% clearance rate during the reporting period. The department has investigated several significant incidents, including an armed home invasion, a kidnapping and domestic violence investigation that resulted in an arrest, multiple sexual assault investigations, a child abuse investigation, several overdose and medical emergency responses, and a commercial structure fire. Officers have also conducted proactive enforcement that resulted in multiple DUI arrests and a significant narcotic seizure during a traffic stop. In addition to enforcement efforts, the department has continued its community engagement by participating in neighborhood meetings, youth outreach programs, community events, grant administration, and ongoing officer training. Preparations have begun for the upcoming Citizens Police Academy, which begins on August 6th. Applications were due on Friday, but I know they still have openings. I would highly encourage citizens who want to learn more about how our police department operates to join this the Citizens Police Academy. It will meet for 6 consecutive Thursday evenings, and you will get to do everything from a ride-along with our police officers. You get to shoot a taser. You get to do lots of different activities, and you learn a great deal about what our police officers face on a daily basis and how police efforts are underway here in Seaford. So I would highly encourage that. I would like to also give an update to those citizens who live in the Westview community. A couple of meetings ago, we did agree to put gates in that community. Those gates are on order and have a 4 to 6 week delivery time frame. So once they're in, then we will be placing those gates as we discussed in the Westview neighborhood. But that is why they have not happened yet, because they are on order. The complete police liaison report, including all of the crime statistics, significant incidents, community activities, and department updates, is available on the website for anyone wishing to review it in greater detail. There is several pages of graphs and charts. You can look at when significant complaints have occurred, what day of the week they're most likely, what time of the day they're most likely to occur. There's a great deal of information in this report, and I encourage you, if you're interested in the activities of our police department, to look further. Again, I have no report from the fire department, so that concludes my reporting.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Going to move over to Code, Parks and Recreation, and ask him to sub in for Admin and IT, and it's Vice Mayor Dan Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Start out with Code Department report. They're issuing building permits, 178 year-to-date. Rental licenses issued are 1,861 to date. The rental inspections are ongoing, and many have been completed. They're doing routine inspections for ongoing projects, and they're doing violation inspections throughout the city. In the coming weeks, I'll be able to give you the quantities and the types of violations that the building department has been actively pursuing. And the department is also performing plan reviews for new permits. Under helpful code facts, under Chapter 4 buildings, this is about permitting. The construction or placement of sheds, fencing, new sidewalk or new paving installation, sidewalk and/or curbing repairs at the street line, and roofing work involving replacement of wood underlayment all require a permit. It was stressed that if you're just replacing shingles, you do not need a permit. So it's only when you're replacing the wood structure, plywood or whatever substrates on the roof, that you would require a permit. And he also did say that these regulations are in line with county regulations so that there's no confusion. They're complementary. Under large project status, Muirfield 1, Phase 4, 17 lots remain. George Miles and Bureau re-inspected Phase 3 prior to dedication, and a few items are remaining for repair. And Ryan Holmes has completed construction of a new model home. Under Bel Air single-family part, under Danfield Drive, the George Miles and Bureau, our city engineer, has completed the pre-dedication inspection, and the letter of the punch list items was sent to the developer. Nylon Capital, the Nylon Capital Center, the Nylon Center, permits are issued for the front building shelf spaces. The Tidal Health Building construction is progressing, and the road work continues on Atlanta and Toll Drive. And as you know, there was a unfortunate and devastating fire at the community staple at Sal's over the last couple of weeks, and that has sort of disrupted some of the progress on that front part. Under Governor's Grant Phase 4, D.R. Horton has several homes under construction, and 4 more permits were issued. Mr. City Manager, did I hear the building officials say that they were almost halfway complete with all those homes? Is it almost halfway?
That is correct. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So if you were to go out to Governor's Grant and look on the south side there, you'll see, almost half of those homes are constructed. At Aldi, the roof covering installation is underway, and the concrete slab is poured. A lot of the plumbing is going up. If you drive by there, you'll see the insulation stacked up on the roof, and they're making good progress. The cookout, the new cookout building plans are being finalized for permit submission, and Seaford Inn, which is to be the new Holiday Inn Express?
Express, yes, sir.
Right. So the new Holiday Inn Express is the building renovation permit has been issued for the interior fit out, and you can see some of the glazing and the heating and air conditioning sleeves are all installed, and it's starting to really look like something. So moving on to Parks and Rec. I'm going to lead off with ground was recently broken for the Parks and Recreation offices, the new offices, and you can see that they've made really good progress in this photograph that's up. It looks that picture was taken yesterday, and it looks the same as of about 4:30. They were not on site today due to something or other.
Predicted bad weather.
Yeah, they were anticipating bad weather, so it looks like they'll be ready for trusses any time, and that building will really be within the next few days undercover. So looks like the Parks Department sprayed weeds in various areas. Katie did mention our Parks and Rec superintendent mentioned that with all the rain that we're having right now, in fact, that the weed growth accelerates, and that puts a little bit of stress to try to get those guys to stay ahead of that. They've completed 5 work orders in the past period. There's 33 total grass and brushwork orders this season. They assisted the DSA with the chair trailer and picnics for for use in the parking lot at Mount Olivet for the 250th event. And they prepped the softball and football fields for the weekend rentals. They did that last weekend or last week. Under recreation, they held the first night of the adult pickleball clinic with 7 participants on 7/24. I think that may have something to do with heat. 7 participants. They did the final counts for youth football, youth flag football, 144 total, and for youth soccer, 276. Now, I hope I didn't get this turned around, but under football, play starts in September with games on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They have 2 divisions, ages 6 through 9 with 6 teams, and ages 10 through 13 with 8 teams. In the soccer league, play starts also in September with games on Saturdays, and they have 4 divisions, 4 to 5, 6 to 7, 8 to 9, and 10 to 13, and there's 6 teams each in those divisions.
That's a Big Ten 4 on that one.
Yeah,
you got it.
Yeah, so that's really, really good, and they are continuing to accept applications. They were considering closing it out, but they're still letting a few in, so it could be up to 280 something on the soccer and maybe a few more on the flag football team. So it's great to see the growth of those programs. And they had 14 registrations for youth field hockey clinics. Katie did say that was a little bit light, but it's State Fair week and there's some other things going on. Some of the girls are still playing softball, so it might be a little bit light, and she expects that number to go up with the next week's clinic or the next clinic they have. Under the superintendent's activities, Katie rescheduled and advertised for the movie in the park that will be held on Friday the 31st. It was supposed to be on the 24th, but it got rained out. Celebrated National Parks and Recreation Professionals Day on the 17th, and I was very happy to be there with the ladies and the gentlemen of Parks and Rec. It was a hot day, and they came in for lunch and let them know just how much they're appreciated, because that's I work outside too, and it's sometimes not all that pleasant. And they assisted Seaford tomorrow with a Friday night live event, and she formed a player data spreadsheet for the fall soccer league, and that was required to submit to be able to order the uniforms. So there's more to running a rec league than might be considered. It just doesn't just fall together. So much appreciated. So with your permission, Mr. Mayor, I'll move on to administration. The city manager had many meetings, most notably, let me retract. Is there a couple of other pictures coming up?
Next 2.
Yeah, I wanted to, this isn't in any of the reports, but since it's grass and I cover parks, Hooper's Landing, I want to give you guys an update on the sprigging. You'll see hole 5 shown to the left is the picture you probably saw at the last meeting of the existing conditions. And that was, they started on that a week prior. As you know, the city manager expended the maximum amount of his funds that he's able to expend, so they started before we actually met. So the whole 5 is 2 weeks after the sprigging. And then the third picture, the one that's on the right, is the conditions today. So that's original, 2 weeks, and 3 weeks. So you can see hole 5 is the fairways are coming along really nicely, and that was a good plan. The next slide, hole 10.
Wow.
You see a lot better progress. It's filling in out on week 3, really doing well, and I think it's money well spent for the look of the course and the general environment. So, thank you for the slide. So, the city manager spends an inordinate amount of time meeting with, not inordinate, but an extraordinary amount of time. He met with a developer to discuss a potential annexation, and he met with a group of attorneys to discuss potential participation in a class action. He attended the wastewater treatment progress meeting, which I had an opportunity to drive down there and take a look at the progress and actually see the structures that Charles mentioned were going on, and seeing something like that. The most imposing structure on the whole site is the job trailer right now. But it's quite necessary for a project of that scope. It's a large, imposing structure on rented land, I suppose. That's not the city's land.
No.
So, moving on to other work, he attended a lot of ceremonies, Chamber of Commerce breakfast, Jim Bowden Day, prepared the council agenda. He met with the city engineer, public works director about the retaining wall that we just made a motion on tonight. Attended mill ribbon cutting, all very, these are pretty good milestones. This month of July has been pretty significant. So, under information technology, Tricia met with Aaron and some people from Telewire to discuss the beginning stages of the phone cloud upgrades. She fixed some fiber issues. She did some work at the police department. She also did some other issues with drive space for the file server. Did a lot of other troubleshooting. And I guess Gary's involved with that too, right? That's not all Trish.
If you look at his face, you can see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's busy times. So it looks like he spent quite a bit of time with the police department, solving their problems and making more room for them, looks like. Welcome back, by the way. This is the first time I've seen you since you got back. How long have you been back? A month? Since June? Well, welcome back. Welcome out of your cubicle. Under economic development and community relations, Tricia also attended the chamber breakfast, prepared the council meeting, presentation attended Parks and Recreation Day event, made, and this is pretty significant. She made color and material decisions for the Parks Office building and transmitted the choices back to the architect. So the job can't move forward until colors are selected.
We weren't going to leave it up to city manager, were we?
So, yeah, we know when the metal starts going up, what,
We know who to call.
you know who to call. She also prepared and made a presentation to the Rotary Club with the city manager and the mayor, which by all accounts was a successful presentation.
Mayor did a fine job.
And I want to leave that one. And she attended the Mod Wash ribbon cutting. Under administration, June's department has been busy. She does mention that a lot of what she does is routine, but this is just just a few of the things that takes up her department's time. She attended a quarterly meeting of the Hooper's Landing with Atkins Management. She assisted auditors with the preliminary audit field work. She received the mediator assignment for the PERB for the contract negotiations with the police. She reviewed the intergovernmental agreement that we moved on tonight. She attended the ribbon cutting for the mill, attended the 25-year service appreciation. She attended a meeting for Martin Farnes project requirements, which is that a prevailing wage job?
That is, and that one, the reason why we met with them, we met with the funding agency. There's actually 4 phases and 2 different loans. So we have 2 phases of water, 2 phases of sewer. We wanted to make sure we put our bid sheets together and we submit appropriately for reimbursement. So
Right.
it was a good meeting, making sure we're doing the right things.
Well, along with the Martin Farnes project, we have a prevailing wage project. There's payroll that has to be certified and interviews that have to be done, and that's done. It's not mentioned here, but it's also done with the wastewater treatment plant. So, she sends an employee out to do interviews to verify these people are being paid what they're supposed to be paid. She attended a meeting with auditors to review the GASB, which is the Government Accounting Standards Board requirements. When the auditors come up here once a year and give you the audit report, they talk to you about different requirements, and they change. They've changed more in the last 3 or 4 years than I've seen them change in almost the last 10 that I've been here. So they're always changing, and she's reviewing the requirements of GASB 103 and 104. And I don't remember the particulars of what she said. Prepared and submitted the annual municipal street aid report. Attended a meeting to review the Comcast franchise agreement. And that's when she says all other business is routine. So that's a busy 2 weeks. So that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Going to move over to our election department and Councilman Mike Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Dalton Hignett, excuse me, completed his written and physical test with Tennessee Valley and Demick. His graduation is set for November. They repaired damaged cross arms on Sussex Highway, trimmed trees on 3rd, Oyster Park and Stein, monthly substation checks, dug primary conduit for Aldi, full crew for power restoration from the severe storm on 7/18. Power was only out for an hour. On a sidebar, I went out on the front porch briefly to see the storm, and lightning struck at the same time the thunder cracked, and I decided maybe I need to go in the house. They replaced a pole and upgraded transformer on Sycamore Lane, replaced a bad transformer on Griffin Street. Greg Brook finalized the inventory, and I feel is paying for that. Attended staff meetings and wastewater progress meeting. Held the 25th brief anniversary celebration for John. I'm not going to pronounce his last name. Starts with an H. Okay, yeah, I tried it earlier today and then masticated it. So we had a brief meeting with him and congratulated him. It was on Thursday morning, and he assisted with the outage on 7/18. Another sidebar, and many of you know this, 20 minutes after the last meeting, a drunk driver attempted to make our backyard a drive-through again. 3 times is a charm. This guy was crazy drunk, and I want to give special thanks to the police department and the fire department for their efforts. He was so insistent on leaving after being stuck on a piece of concrete that he actually blew out one of the tires on the car. And there were some points where we couldn't even see him inside the car. There was so much smoke. So anyhow, that's the end of my report. Respectfully submitted. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. And over to our Public Works and Wastewater Treatment Facility, and Councilman Alan Quillen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Director Mears is on vacation this past week, but the report was submitted by Ms. Lisa Gillespie. And on the Public Works side, set up the barricades for the 250th celebration in downtown Seaford, cleaned key sewer lines throughout the week, repaired water service leak on State Street, identifying services for lead and copper rule and collecting water samples, replaced a few water meters throughout the city, also assisted the code department in cleaning up some properties throughout the city, and all other routine tasks were done on that week. Moving over to the wastewater treatment facility and the compost plant and dewatering, performance is excellent. There has been no violations on the plant at all, so that's very good. So it's operating, and as Councilman Henderson stated, that we do have a very large project going on, which is the Headworks project right now, which is the upgrading and the expansion of the wastewater treatment plant. So I do want to start giving some updates on that as well, and I should have a picture there just to show. And this is a picture of the site work that's going on right now. As Mr. Councilman Henderson said, there's not a whole lot going on there right now, but they're all putting some foundations in and doing some work around there. So I will be giving you more progress reports as I move on here. Also, there has been a clarifier tank relining, and it has been completed too as well on this project. This is a 3-phase project. We are in the first phase, which is the Headworks project, which is a $13 million project, and the overall project is going to be approximately around $47 million to complete. So as it progresses, I will be giving updates on the site work and what has been completed throughout that as well. That continues my report. Please.
Thank you, Councilman.
Oh, excuse me.
Please.
I'm sorry.
By all means.
I do want to highlight some employees. So I'm trying to do some recognition of employees, and as you see there on the left, that is Matthew Milkorick, and he is an employee with the Public Works Department, and he's been with the city for 10 years, and he's married with 3 children. And every time I ask somebody in the Public Works Department what do they like about their job, and it seems like it comes back and say, just being outside and doing different things every day. And they do enjoy what they do. And it's amazing to hear that, because a lot of people will take the opportunity, especially, talking to somebody privately about, what their dislikes, but I haven't heard any dislikes. That's great to hear. So Matthew also likes to be outside and enjoying different things every day. He enjoys the beach, he enjoys fishing, and he enjoys working out at the gym. And on the right side there, that is Mr. Greg Jones. And he's been with the city for 23 years. He's happily married for 36 years to Pat. And he's like, once again, what do you like about your job? He says, everything. And I said, okay. He says, I like sweeping. I like sweeping. So he enjoys riding the sweeper around town, and he keeps the streets very clean for us, does an excellent job, and is very, very dedicated to his work and making sure that he's keeping things looking like they should. And he's also, he enjoys going to church and very active in his church, and he enjoys sports. So that does complete my report this time.
You sure?
I'm sure.
All right. We've had a busy month here in the month of July. Want to hit a few highlights from this past month. I want to back up our Councilwoman Stephanie Grassett, her support for the Seaford Civilian Police Academy. Highly recommend it. If you've never done it, you want to know a little bit what it's like to be a police officer and just learn experience, could not recommend it enough. Check that out. The grand opening of the mill, for those who were in attendance, was a wonderful day. Just remarkable to see this community support new business and new endeavors. I will share with you, since that day, which was the day following the announcement of the Playseum and China Walk coming to the city of Seaford, Rob's had 3 additional meetings since then, so a lot of momentum behind that project. We have another meeting on Thursday, so a lot of people are getting excited now to see some of these concepts come to fruition on that project. Appreciated by who attended that. This past week, past Friday, we were able to honor Jim Bowden Day. I appreciate the city giving me some leeway and indulging me on these different ventures. The town of Georgetown showed up, and the new mayor, Angela Townsend. I appreciate them supporting Jim and honoring him as well. And just want to thank everybody involved in that. It takes a lot of people to do these events. Trish, who's not here, is very involved in all of these things. Beth Stewart in the back keeps me straight, make sure I'm on schedule. Gary in the back is doing a lot of legwork and setting things up with the audio and just everything. It takes a village to pull these things off, so I appreciate you guys indulging me. I believe we live in an extraordinary city, and that's because we have extraordinary people in this area, and I want to recognize them for what they've done for our city. And to that end, hot off the presses, Friday, August 14th, we're going to have Danny Short Day in the city of Seaford. So mark your calendar. Glenn, you'll be here, right? Okay. Of course, you'll be here. Media buffet. No media buffet. Don't get carried away. But no, Friday, August 14th, we're going to honor Danny Short, 1 p.m. Hopefully you guys can attend. He's done a lot for our city. Served in various capacity for many, many years, so I want to recognize him. And with that, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Councilman Quillen, so moved.
A motion from Councilman Quillen. Is there a second?
I second.
Second from Vice Mayor Dan Henderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, one adjournment. Thanks so much.